Hello, hello. Welcome to Pick a Pile. We have 3 piles to choose from. Each pile has 3 cards. If you like the number 3, this is your reading. This is a Septian egg, if I'm pronouncing that right. Septian egg. Pile 1. Pile 2. Selenite wand. Pile 3. Amethyst wand. So, you guys have a sec to choose, but try not to overthink it. First one that you were drawn to is probably the one you should go with, but that's up to you. My intent is for, with the past lives, to recall any information about your past lives that could be causing you problems in this lifetime. It's important for you to be present, focused, and grounded in order to get the best, most accurate information. Take the mind out of the picture and go with your intuition. And it's usually the first immediate inclination that you have before your mind actually kicks in. You could be drawn to a pile because of its crystal, just because your eyes got drawn to it, or because the number or the sound of how I pronounced it, 1, 2, or 3, stood out to you. You'll know the difference between the mind, because the mind will analyze and you'll start to think, oh, but I like that one, or I like the style of that one, or maybe that's or my favorite crystal, or I just like, it's the first kind of gut hit that you get is the one that I would go with, or you can just listen to all 3. There's no wrong or right answer, and yeah. So for me, past lives present as a knowing without learning something. So maybe the pile that you pick, when we see the cards, it could just all of a sudden make sense. And sometimes we carry stuff into this lifetime that comes from a past life, and some of the experiences that we're going through make absolutely no sense as to why we're, continuously attracting them, or why we're having certain struggles in certain areas, maybe why we have pains in, certain parts of our body that don't really have a quote logical explanation, no rhyme or reason, and it could be because of a past life. For me personally, I've had a few past lives, and one of them was that I was stabbed in the back. And just when I heard that, on a soul knowing level, my back pain disappeared. So it was a soul recognition, and sometimes that's all it takes. So past lives can be beneficial for many different plethora of reasons, and they're just also fun. And yeah, so we will get right into it. And we'll start with pile number 1, the Septian egg. I'm just going to move these guys over here. All right, so the cards we have are Angel Serena, the 8 of Springs, and the Father card. You guys cannot see that. I'm trying to see you guys. Probably not. And the decks that I'm using are the Past Life Oracle cards from Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss, the Animal Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, and the Messages from Your Angels by Doreen Virtue. Go figure. Seem to have all Doreen Virtue. So this one here, Archangel, Angel Serena, the message says, I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need. And God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. Um, so basically, and it says from the book directly, is God is the source of all your good. Release all of your old carries and worries to me, and I will bring them directly to God. The more that you surrender this situation into the heavens, the more open you become. Your openness, like outstretched arms, welcomes the gifts that we will bring you. When you worry, however, it closes you down. It becomes more difficult for us to deliver your gifts. You don't notice your gifts, or you may push them away. God's infinite creativity means that your financial support will come in unexpected ways. One of the reasons why you worry is because you don't know how your money will be delivered. You can release these worries by completely relying on God's wisdom and care. Notice your repetitive thoughts, feelings, and ideas. They are our way of communicating divine guidance to you. As you follow these divine directives, your supply to you comes to you on the wings of our angels, without delay or reservation. The more that you can relax and trust, the faster we can bring these gifts your way. The next one is from the Animal Tarot card, and it is the Eight of Spring. And I'm looking that up for you. The Eight of Spring is getting busy and having too much to do, juggling priorities, the need to multitask, important information. The bee symbolizes stress that comes from having too many irons on the fire. However, these irons are often very happy and exciting. Think of 8 wonderful, thrilling things that you'd love to have happen in your life. Now imagine that they all happened at once. Chances are you'd be pretty overwhelmed. However, the stress you would be feeling would be from trying to juggle so many wonderful blessings. Bees can also indicate the need to prioritize, relaying or receiving very important messages, as well as air travel. Bees are delightful creatures whose lives are lived among beautiful flowers, furthering life on earth through pollination while creating honey for the hive. In short, they're busy doing very important and lovingly things. Busy as a bee is an old expression and an apt message for this card. Marigolds were chosen as the flowers depicted because they represent breaking tasks down into manageable pieces so that everything can get done without being overwhelming. You'll notice that this flower is beautifully intricate, with dozens of perfectly overlapping petals clustered into florets to form the final blossom. Just as small individual steps build on each other to manifest the end goal or dream. Similarly, it is the contribution of each worker bee that, collectively, forms the honeycomb. If life feels stressful, remember to be grateful for the opportunities that are presenting themselves to you, and just take things one step at a time. So these two cards go kind of hand in hand. We'll get to this one in a second. And basically, when we get too much on our plate, or when we are having a hard time trusting the process, especially in terms of financial abundance, and we get into that worry state, it's often very difficult to get out of the worry state and be grateful for the things that we have. For me personally, because if the money is not there, the money's not there. However, having said that, when I'm grateful and for the things that I do have, my feet, my legs, my hands, my arms, my eyes, my ears, grateful for internet, grateful for YouTube, grateful for my dog, for my house, for the blessings, then having an attitude of gratitude far outweighs the density of the worry and the fear. And when I take away the fear and I have faith, more things start to come into place. And the more things that start to come into place, the more trust in myself that I have, and the more trust in the universe that I have. And when I get too much on my plate like this, it becomes more of a desperation, like start this, apply here, without having just maybe one centered or two centered, kind of passionate things. Because if I'm applying to everywhere in desperation is lack, victim mentality. And lack mentality will provide, unfortunately, lack mentality will provide more lack, and so to manifest abundance, it's not just about a vision board and dreaming and wishing and praying. It's about becoming the vibration of abundance. And I struggled with that for a long time. So what I've done, sorry, as the phone rings, what I've done in the past is just imagine something that makes you feel very abundant. Abundance isn't always about wealth, and money. But just imagine, something that brings you complete joy and fulfillment, something that you love to do. Could be your animals, your pets, your family, your friends, and stay in that mindset and that feeling of joy and happiness and gratitude for those things that you have, and thus will come abundance, and realize that is abundance, abundance of friend, abundance of whatever it is that brings you joy. Abundance is always typically referred to with money, but abundance in your heart, abundance in your soul, abundance from within will bring peace and take away all the worries. And when we focus on exterior things, our wants, needs, and desires, our ego, those things are just temporary, and they will always go as quickly as they came. They bring instant gratification. And so anything that's worth, kind of fighting for will definitely linger for longer. And the Father card, to do with the past lives, and I'm just going to look that one up too. So this could be something that is playing into your current situation now. And it says, if I can just find it, this card indicates that your father in this life was with you in prior lifetimes. Any issues you've had with your father likely began long ago. Look at the cards that were drawn prior, and they could yield clues about the previous lives that you two have shared. He may not have been your father in those lives, although sometimes souls continue to reincarnate together in different roles. To break any negative patterns with your father's soul, be willing to release old anger or unforgiveness. This can be conscious or unconscious emotional energy stored in your psyche. Just your willingness to clear the toxic relationship energy is enough to initiate the healing process. Remember that forgiveness doesn't mean that you approve of the person's actions. It simply means that you're no longer willing to carry around the anger energy. By releasing the past, you subsequently heal your present and future. If you totally forgive your father and yourself, you no longer have to reincarnate with that soul, unless you choose to. You retain only the lessons, growth, and love that you shared. As an added benefit, the healing work that you do with your father helps all of the relationships that you have with all the men in your life. So this could be even, related to your relationship right now. If you're struggling, look to see how do they resemble, or do they resemble your father, biological father, adoptive father, or your, the male figure that presented himself to you in this lifetime as a father figure, the one that guided you the most, the one that you trusted. It doesn't have to be father by title. And see how the current relationship, if you're struggling in it, chances are the characteristics will definitely be related to the characteristics of your father, especially if you guys have had struggles. And if you can break those down to see, what are the patterns in that, and why is it causing struggles, and look to forgive, not condone or by any means say that what they've done or the pain that they've caused is okay, but on a soul level to forgive them, and something that might help if it's really, 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 really bad past relationship issues with any male figure or any figure really is to look at it from a soul's perspective And that is, prior to this incarnation, we were balls of light. And as balls of light, as souls, we decided what kind of lessons that we wanted to learn in this incarnation, and we made a list, and we went to the jury that be, whatever you want, whatever it looks like to you, and we presented our list. And sometimes we were strongly advised, like, are you sure you can handle all of these lessons? This is a lot for you to take on. And as eager souls up there, completely forgetting what it's like to be in this dense body, we eagerly want to come down and move on with our incarnation, our journey towards whatever they call enlightenment. And so then we have to find the players. So we go to these other beings of light up there with us, and we ask them to play the parts that will help us teach us these lessons. And some of the lessons are mortifying and horrific, and the characters up there probably definitely don't really want to play that part. And also we sign up to play parts for other people, and we all do this up there on a soul level out of love. I will agree to play this part for you out of love, in hopes that you can learn this lesson, and check it off your checklist in an effort to help you grow and evolve. And just as we play the parts for other people, we're the victim, the villain, and the hero in all of our own stories, as well as in everybody else's story, every person that we ever walk by or encounter, small or big. We can play a large part. And so forgiveness is about ourselves, and forgiving the other person is for ourselves, so that we don't have to carry around the hurt and the anger and the resentment, because it just hurts us. If you can take the other person out of the equation and do it for yourself, forgive them for yourself, not for what they've done, but forgive them so that you can be free, so that you're not attached to them anymore. You're not energetically attached or bonded to them. You're not giving them any more of your power. Because on this, unconscious level, the more anger we have towards someone, we're just kind of giving our power away. And whether they know it or not. And whether they don't need to know whether we forgive them or not. It's not for them. It's about ourselves. Forgiveness is always about ourselves. It's to set our soul free and at peace. And it doesn't mean we accept what they have done, by any means. But forgiveness, if you can look at it from a selfish, point of view, forgive so that you can let go, so that you can move on and you can move forward. Take the other person out of the equation. And you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. So you can set yourself free. And on that note, I hope that's helpful. And if you'd like to leave a comment, that would be great. And we'll move on to pile 2.